lastly, I just want to say, I know we voted on some changes, and we are moving in a direction with a lot of demands, and we don't have infinite money. I just want to tell everybody. Everybody runs down to the county and say, take your idea down there. They got the money. We don't have unlimited money. I want to tell them, we're not the bank. And so all these groups get together and they do studies, and then they run down here and say, here's the study. And by the way, the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. We have a lot on our backs. Number one, we were talking about a hotel. Now we don't hear nothing about a hotel. I ain't seen no hotel. I ain't seen nothing. Ain't heard nothing about it. But that was supposed to be the big deal. Next, they come back and say we're going to do Fort Washington Way, and we going to get some federal money. But then y'all know what happened up at the federal money. We just had a workshop. They cutting up at the federal level. And then whenever the federal does something, they want us to match. They never come anything without us matching. So that's some more money. Then we got a fight now between the banks, people who want to develop the banks, and then people who say, no, we want to develop uptown. So we got the upper downtown versus the southern downtown. And again, our pot is this little. And everybody's saying, no, I got the idea. No, I got the idea. No, I'm the genius. No, I'm the genius. And just coming out of an election, recent election, and we get out of just downtown. I've been to all over, and I'm sure others have too, but I've been all over, and I can only tell you what I heard. And they said they don't want everything going downtown, Cincinnati. So I just had a meeting today. Everybody's running. So here's some things that I think is very interesting. I want to be clear that I have always said on the Bengals lease, we got to be out in the open. The people thought they got screwed in the executive sessions and behind the curtain and private meetings. When I was president, I had to get a vote, and I was able to go to one meeting. That was it. One meeting. And now we're getting down to the wires, and it's just surprising that I get the information 5 minutes before the media does. In fact, one of the votes we took a couple weeks ago, the article was already written, and we hadn't even voted. They had just said, Commissioner Reece, do you have any comments? The article was already written. And I have some issues with that. I have issues that public records are asked for, and then I found out about the nasty emails 5 minutes before. Now, there's another article, and that's why they got out of here, because they always get the information, and they done wrote the article before we can even have a meeting. I think that sends a bad message to the taxpayers of Hamilton County. In the article, it says 3 things to watch as Paycor Stadium negotiation deadline nears. Okay, and they talk about different things. They talk about the Browns and all that. But then they said, could the lease deadline be extended? And I had asked the communications person about this, and she said, Mr. Ludo, so we're going to get it straightened out, that you had said in a public meeting that we might extend the deadline. So we got a couple things here. Number one, people calling our office saying they thought we had a deal, because that's what the media ran with. We have no deal on the lease. Number two, I'm reading in the paper, could the lease deadline be extended? Now, I was not in any of these meetings. There's lots of meetings happening. And it's hard to be an interpreter of meetings. I'd rather have transcripts. But Mr. Ludo, in here it says, it is possible that the county and the team could sign another memorandum at any time if they choose to give themselves more time. I did not see that in the contract. Maybe I missed it. So I need to know, because they said, Mr. Ludo, you indicated that we are possibly working on another memo. We done had one memo. Now we talking about another memo that could be more time. What is going on with this? How did the Inquirer know that we could give them? I didn't vote for more time. So where are we? Because I asked the person, they said, yeah, you mentioned that we could do more time. Did we? And maybe I missed.
Do you want to finish your comment, or do you want me to respond?
Yeah, I want you to respond to
it. So I don't know exactly what the article is referring to, Commissioner, but I will say that if it, as I interpreted your comments, and as I interpret what you read from the article, that it's referring to the MOU that the board recently passed, which talked about the different deadlines, the June 30th deadline, et cetera. And I believe there was a clause in the MOU that said unless the team and the county decide to extend that, which I did say publicly in the meeting when we talked about the MOU. And it was written in the MOU. So, but I'm saying that without knowing exactly what the article is.
Well, I'm just saying that somebody had to tell them, and it has on here. The only person that's quoted, they have Hamilton County Commission President Denise Driehaus has said she believes the county will hear about the state's intention before the deadline. So she's talking about the state. The state is 30th, it says. They not giving more time. So I'm so glad I voted against that memo, because if that memo says that we are saying we're going to give them beyond June 30th, thank God I voted against the memo. That's why I'm against all these memos. Let's get to the lease. Let's get to the lease. So these are the kind of things that to me is just too murky. And then we're out here, there's a push that we need to have a public hearing. We've been having, I mean, I'm here, whatever, but I don't want a public hearing on the design of the place. I wanted a public hearing on the financing, because that's what I'm hearing from people, that they don't want the financing. But if I'm elected with 218,000 people and you done slipped in a memo that we're going to possibly get in more time, I got a problem with that. Thank God I voted no. But I just read it in the paper, and I said, dang, how did the newspaper know about a possible extension? And it has it in bold. Could the lease deadline be extended? And then it goes on. It is possible that the county and the team could sign another memorandum at any time if they choose to give themselves more time to negotiate. Now, I'm just going to be clear. We making changes, and we made some changes, but I'm going to put it out there where I'm coming from based on the people who have emailed my office, called my office. We can't have no double dealing going on, period. It's based on the taxpayers. I don't know what these meetings are. Every time there's always, oh, you misunderstood and we slipped something in, and wait a minute, hold on, they asked for public records. Let me tell you what is going to go to the public. Come on, man, the double dealing got to stop. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not in the interest of the taxpayers, from what I've seen. It's not in the interest of the taxpayers. And this thing is going around like a circus. And the taxpayers are the ones getting laughed at. So that's where I'm coming from. I never approved going to additional time. I'm not interested in any more memos. I want to get down to the lease. It's already bad enough, and we adding more stuff. We had $65 million in a memo, and we didn't get nothing cut in the lease. Nothing. It's the same lease. Right today, we on the same lease from 1997. And I just don't see how that's to the benefit of the taxpayers, of them letting us know what they gonna do. This deadline has been in the lease since 1997. You had all these years to meet the deadline. The state of Ohio not changing the deadline. They have a deadline for a state budget. They ain't changing it. You said the NFL, they had a deadline. April 30th, they did not change it. And now here we are, we done had since 1997 till today, till June 30th to get this thing together. And I want to be clear, I'm not on board for extending this time. They need to let us know what they're going to do. And that's what the people are expecting. So I want to put that out there. That's where I'm coming from as my elected position. And the people that voted for me, and it wasn't a small number, and they are saying to me, don't be fooled. I don't have the email. I was going to read it today, but it was pretty tough. But some people said what they're seeing and what we're doing. So I also don't want the public hearing to turn into an arena situation. We're setting it up for everybody They bring people down here and say, we want an arena. I am not for raising any taxes. And there's no way that you can build both of these things. You can keep the Reds, you can keep the Bengals, and you can do an arena all within Fort Washington Way in this small sales tax. Even the Bengals went and got a tax exemption from sales tax that helps pay for their stadium. But grandma cannot get an exemption nowhere. Can't get an exemption for their property taxes, can't get an exemption for the sales tax. They're paying for everything. Middle class families, they're crushed right now. And I don't know how we afford to pay for all these things. Hotels, convention centers, Fort Washington Way, 2 stadiums, an arena, great ideas. But who in the hell is paying for it? So that's what I'm saying, and everything I do is public. So I don't want the hearing to turn into a way that they bust in people, and then they come in here and say, we need an arena, we don't need no Bengal stadium. I hope that's not the direction that we're going. But to have in that memo, ladies and gentlemen, according to what you said, is in the memo. It's in the memo. Here it is. Commissioner Reece, do not allow them to bamboozle. Do not be bamboozled in this Bengals negotiation. They went on and said, you're the only one who is honest and will say it to the Bengals' face. My grandma cannot even pay her taxes. Is probably going to have to sell her home for 47 years. I don't see the Bengals offering to help my grandma on her property taxes. Resist and get a better lease. Enough is enough of all this nonsense. So this is the kind of stuff I'm getting. That's just one. So all I'm saying is that's who I'm representing. And I didn't know in the memo it said that we would be extending the time. I don't have the memo in front of me, but that's what you just said. It's in the memo. That's why we got to read every line. I'm glad I voted no. I hope that we do not extend it, just like the state won't extend it, just like the NFL won't extend it. I think we need to know we had it since 1997. And I'm hoping that we're working, I think we're all saying we're hoping that we're working day and night to try to get to a better deal. But within this timeline, I don't want to go another year of we got to go back and forth on this same stuff. So that's what I wanted to say, and I said it because I saw it. Everything I'm doing, I got to read it in the newspaper. And I just think as elected officials, I'd like to know before it hit the newspaper. And I'd like the people to hear it. Whether you subscribe to newspapers, whether you have whether you got, whether you're looking at the news, you can hear our meetings. It should be out in the open, and that's what I'm hoping that whatever we're going to have. But there'll be a lot of articles between now and June, and there are a lot of things that keep changing. And I have some concerns about it. So I wanted to express that, and I wanted Mr. Ludo, you on record saying that it can be extended, and it's in the memo. So thank you.